I recently watched The Killing of Two Lovers. It's a 2020 American drama film written, produced, directed, everything under the sun by director Robert Machoyan. We followed David as he desperately tries to keep his family together during a separation that he's going through with his wife, Nicole. This is a really interesting film because the first moment we see David is when he's standing over his wife and the lover man. At this point in the story, we don't even know his name yet. And he's basically pointing a gun towards them, contemplating whether to kill them or not. And the only thing that ultimately stops him is that he gets startled out of doing it by the sound of, I think it was a toilet flushing. He has a miniature heart attack and then runs back to his dad's house. And you know, there's one thing about this movie that I feel might not be for everyone, and that's the fact that sometimes the scenes drag on forever. I can't appreciate that every scene is written with a purpose. You kind of get this sense this entire story is building towards him murdering his wife and murdering his wife's lover.
Anyway, I started blasting.
And to be honest, it almost feels like the film tries to convince us that she's not the bad person in this situation. I mean, everyone I've seen discuss this movie just says that, oh, they both have their flaws. And don't get me wrong. I mean, David has a propensity for violence. I mean, my man literally drives around with a pistol and he literally follows a man around with the express purpose of putting a cap in his ass. I'm not gonna go ahead and stand here and say that he doesn't have flaws.
All I have are negative thoughts.
My man needs therapy and he needs to start from the very beginning, which may have well been when he was born.
So, what seems to be the problem, Mr. Tentacles?
It all started when I was born.
We don't really get to see how they got into this situation in the first place. And this is a relatively short movie. It's about an hour and 25 minutes. So we don't really get into like the history of how they got to this point. Probably some of the most painful moments in this movie were caused by this woman. The singing scene was heartwarming, even though he was incredibly out of tune.
Stay close to me.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It was still heartwarming. Nothing compares to the way my heart sank when we saw Derek walking up to his family's house in the middle of a date that they planned. I mean, my heart sank the moment, even before this scene, my heart sank the moment she said,
"You mind if we stay close?"
All right, I guess this is the night bitches die.
It was already clear that they were going to try and spend the whole night. He even said it. I mean, come on, the man looked like a sad puppy when he told you that he had the whole night planned. Like a little bit. They have 3 young boys, by the way, Alex, Theo, and Bug. Don't ask me the inspiration for the last kid's name, although it is incredibly adorable. Probably one of the most wholesome moments that I have to give this movie was when all the kids came out and started smashing the flowers that Prince Derek left behind. Okay, it's the first time you're leaving your 3 young boys with the older sister, who pretty much is having a hard time dealing with the situation at hand.
Hey, hold on. Hey!
Figure your shit out because it's ruining my life.
Jess.
And what better way for teenagers to show that their parents' marriage is crumbling than by skipping school?
Jess! Jess! What are you doing?
Got a blast!
Where are you going? Hey!
You know, I wish people would have told me when I was younger that the reason you don't skip school isn't because you'll get in trouble. It's probably because you'll freeze to death on a park bench and you'll be really fucking bored.
Ah, you hear that, Johnny? You're covered in rejected black guy sperm.
How did things get to this point? The movie is a little bit misleading because the entire time you're thinking this is going to be the story of how he killed both his wife and his wife's lover and got away with it. You thought this was about to be like O.J. Simpson Part 2. The whole world just coming down on this man. And then eventually he's going to get pushed to the point where he's going to break. Just check out the scene where his wife literally just comes with the sole purpose of telling him that he's not allowed to talk to his kids whenever he wants.
Mitch Hedberg jokes.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't sleep last night, and the boys have been telling me to look up this guy's stuff, so I did. Just went over there to share some of the funny ones with him.
Do you think that was a good idea?
And to be honest, every time she caresses him after she says something stupid, really makes me want to drink bleach and inhale all of the insulation my lungs can handle.
Well, shit.
And to be honest, the movie doesn't really deliver on that sort of tone that it's set. The whole movie builds up to this large argument scene. He finishes taking his kids to the park, and then they get back home, and David is trying to explain to his wife why it's a bad idea for her to negate her daughter from doing something she likes in the name of her father, because that makes her father look bad, which again is a totally valid point. He makes it really, really clear that he only agreed to do this because he thought that they were gonna work this out. My man is clearly not over her at all.
Nigga, you gay.
He loves those kids, and I don't see anyone who can watch this movie and not see his wife as the enemy here. And probably the worst thing that could happen in this situation happens.
I don't know what it is you hope to accomplish.
No, I know. I'm a piece of garbage, huh? Is that right? You are a pile of garbage, David. You don't deserve that woman.
It's actually David, the one that gets turned into somebody's bitch. Throughout this entire argument, I probably had the worst anxiety that I've ever had. You could cut the tension in the air with a knife, and probably my favorite line from this entire argument scene was,
You feel like a big dick standing in front of my house?
Stop.
Tell your friends about me.
I had to watch this scene more than once. You watch it the first time and you don't even notice the bait and switch that's about to happen. As I watched this scene, all I could think to myself was, oh, okay, this is gonna be the moment where he finally decks that mother. Wait, why are they standing so far apart? I thought he was gonna deck this motherfucker. Is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be the moment where he goes in his car, pulls out that pistol, and puts a cap in both of them? I also have to say, I really enjoy the symbolism of her walking back and forth between the two men, because that is literally like exactly what she's been doing this entire time. I get it, they had an agreement.
This is some bullshit. Being a wife and a mother, that's enough.
And you know, a lot of people wonder why she did these things, why it is that she moved on so quickly, why was it so easy. People complain that they didn't give a reasonable explanation for Nicole's motives, but to be honest, I think she said it herself right here.
You thinking about it?
Kind of. I don't know, it's only been 3 months, so we'll see. I don't know if it's something I'll get bored of once it isn't exciting anymore.
She moves on past things that don't excite her anymore. I think she was implying more than she was immediately letting on. And it's really tragic. And he just drives. I mean, he's off-roading for, I don't know, a whole 15 seconds, and then just comes to a really gentle stop before hallucinating Derek again. And honestly, like, if the ops were after me, I would have done exactly what my man David did here.
That's bitch. It. Enough. Ain't nobody's bitch. Bobby. Bitch.
And it turns out that it's actually not even Derek. Once she hugs him in the field and he says, I love yous, it's implied that they make up. And the next scene is just them sitting at a store and everything is back to normal. The movie doesn't really give a lot of answers as to what ended up happening. I mean, maybe you could make an argument that what she did during the movie isn't enough to constitute him severing ties with her forever. The movie really uses her as a tool to make you sympathize with David.
Some guys have all the luck. I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my legs, and every afternoon I break my arms. At night, I lie awake in agony until my heart attacks put me to sleep.
Now, you can only sympathize so much considering that he's literally plotting to kill a dude. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that once he got kicked in wherever he got kicked, hopefully it wasn't any place sensitive, that he was thinking in that moment, I should have killed that motherfucker when I had the chance.
But you know what's really crazy?
The movie does a great job at kind of taking us through what it can be like in these kind of complex romantic relationship situations. And it's really, really fascinating to see the dynamic explored. The ending was really unsatisfying. You could argue that maybe they're better off separated. The only thing we can kind of say is that, hey, he ain't accidentally stray bullet her to the nether realm, and we're gonna go ahead and hope that she's not seeing Derek anymore.
I cried because of the story. I got allergies.
The film leaves a lot to imagination. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, I would probably give this movie like a 3.8. I wouldn't go as far as calling it a masterpiece. I would recommend people watch it if you're okay with a slow grind. Yeah. And that's all I have to say. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you want more, and I'll catch you in the next video.